by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a
It's military. The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
Worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
Hey man, it's good to see you. Goodbye, officer. Hey man, it's good to see you. Goodbye, off. A better deal! Yeah! Medium car!
Sidechain the beat. Listen, you can use the compressor to select between which track it's compressing, either the auxiliary signal or the main input from the tape. Make it alternate between the signals. The compressor controls the gain based on the level of the signal on the aux sidechain input. It will allow maintaining a loud sound without peaks that fill up all the headspace.
Sidechaining it, you said?
Then he puts on his headphones and his eyes go wide, wider than they've ever gone on drugs. He starts jumping up and down with bliss in total silence, still listening to his headphones.
Hey, what did you do to Egghead Cop Man? Did you break him?
Are you ready, pussy?
Noid straightens his back, ready for the beat.
I was born ready, Egg.
On the stage, intensely waving his hand in the air.
This is beauty! This is life!
What in the world is going on? The way melody and bass flow together, it's unnatural.
Your body is taking a beating from the low frequencies crashing over you. It's making you feel alive again.
Introducing the ultimate sound!
God damn it! This dance club idea might just work out.
DeLorean Church! The place to be! Pump it! Pump it!
This is it. This is a new era. The fabric of the world has been irrevocably altered.
Yes, what is it? You're asking me to circuit bend onto a coalition radio frequencies. You want to know, is it possible? Probably. But is it a good idea? I'm not so sure. The main difficulty will be finding an antenna powerful enough to reach those frequencies. Unfortunately, you can't exactly buy mega long-wave antennas off the shelf.
She's not joking. Even the RCM has to receive special approval from the coalition to access that kind of equipment.
I highly doubt it. That tower is barely able to transmit shortwave signals across the bay. To generate megalow frequencies, we're going to need a much larger antenna.
She has an idea though. You can see the tiny signal lights firing inside her brain.
I don't see any alternative. We're just going to have to build the antenna ourselves. Because it's a completely different class of antenna. It would be like using a high-end racing carriage where a long-distance lorry is required. We need metal, a lot of it. The taller the structure, the better. Something that is both prominent and easily accessible. If it's near a power source, even better.
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags. The wind pushes a piece of tear across the cracked tiles. From the north comes the malicious laughter of two children. Your eye follows the tiles west. You see a bench and a few twisted, pitiful trees. Then, just water. From behind you, a low, spectral voice whispers, "Nay." Beyond the unkempt backyard rises a monstrous assemblage of concrete, plaster, and corrugated sheet metal. The voice again, more urgent now. "Nay." You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow, and a great shadow materializes before you. A towering beast, frozen in mid-air.
The dead king and his horse. It could work. We'll need an adequate power supply and a great quantity of cable. If we connect the cables to some of the stranded lorries, we could theoretically increase the antenna's wavelength exponentially.
Whatever ambivalence she had about your project before, she's now fully engaged in solving this technical puzzle.
Quiet. I'm doing maths. Yes, assuming we can find just a few pieces of equipment. It's completely ridiculous, but I believe we could transform the entire roundabout into one solid fractal antenna.
A note of awe in her voice. She's shocked and pleased by her own audacity.
Your sense of style isn't my concern. I'm only here to tell you what's feasible or not from a technical viewpoint. I have plenty of cables and amplifiers on hand. The power supply I will secure on my own. All we require now is the radio transceiver itself. I cannot answer that for you, but I don't expect it to be that difficult. There's no shortage of radios around here. If you have real to spare, you might even be able to buy one, but it doesn't really matter where it comes from, so long as it works.
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from Machinima.
Absolutely not. My reign prefect is my livelihood. If something were to go wrong, it would be a disaster.
I highly doubt that. When I crank the volume on my dyno wave, it's like you're in the front row at the National Concert Hall. Joke all you want, detective. Whatever radio you manage to scrounge up won't lay a finger on my setup.
There is no need to go out of your way to find a top-shelf radio for this purpose. As long as it's functional, that is what counts. Certainly, though it requires a fair amount of technical finesse to remove them. Frankly, it's not worth the bother. Just find a regular radio. That sounds like a perfectly adequate radio. In the meantime, I will gather the rest of the materials. We will meet back here when you have it.
Yo, man. What's on your mind?
Welcome back. Welcome back.
of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax paint. Why? That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else? I don't know. The mother of humanism. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft...
This is Precinct 57. How may I... Still no word, I'm afraid, sir. I know it must be frustrating. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? Just a...
10-4, come in, officer. Over. 10-4, sir. Sorry. 10-4. Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
This is Precinct 57. How does it... Sylvie? Yes. Hello? Oh, great. What else do you need, detective? You mean what?
Why not?
Maybe, I don't know. No? Not me. What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the union already knew about the corpse. No one calls the police. The union would get angry. You know, what the union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here. I didn't want to get in trouble with the others.
Push her further. Show her the error of her ways.
The other people who live around here. Local people, I didn't want trouble. You don't live here. You don't understand. Squealing is frowned upon here. Everything is dealt with, well, by the union, internally. Please, I just didn't want any trouble. I didn't know I had to report it. I thought someone would take him down eventually.
The fucking nerves on her. Trying to hide behind weakness. You're a god. An angry but just god.
Hey, if you cannot restrain yourself, then I'll be handling the interviews from now on, and you can quietly take notes. Apparently so.
Breathing on the other end suggests that Sylvie is still on the line. She...
No. I honestly don't know.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while.
Okay.
You hear...
Anything else I can help you with, officer? 50...
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers. As you tap...
No, that's enough fun with...
Haven't you look around? Is this really the economy we want to leave to our children? That's the spirit. Everything still me?
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the
Very,
Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy
very cool. I admire. That's so cool, officer. Me?
This man probably comes from Seaguy, some
Very.
Apricot Suzerainty.
Oh, speaking of.
The gnarled hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane, patting the new tree, the gnarled hawthorn tree on Rue. The gnarled hawthorn tree. Old monument stands in the mid. Someone shot him in the heart. The monument stands high.
The mercenary, eh? That's so. I haven't heard anything about that. But if that's true, well, he was an enemy combatant. He was an agent of the... I ain't the murdering type.
He believed.
Understood.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
Ray's pupil returns. Rashid, welcome. He must. True, the drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogenetic tree. His large jaw, for example, could be a trait indicative of criminalism. Also, his earlobes could be small.
The size of the earlobes is not a real craniometric criteria. Everyone knows this.
Your earlobes are flawless, Jean-Luc.
Yes.
That atavistic stigmata makes pussy say yes plenty.
Babe, thanks. But I got this.
I think
that will be the...
They're always...
There is nothing funky about tips, the F. Lesser, the mess.
It seems unlikely that
You are. Then there is the Simino, Koi, the Koi, this.
your eyes back. Wasn't she called Katya? A common name.
The heart.
He does not seem angry, nor does the woman.
I cannot possibly.
A common office radio, like any of those found in countless waiting rooms, lounges, and other semi-public spaces all over the world.
There's usually a little switch somewhere. Ah yes, it's the one that says release.
The lock disengages with a nice click. You may now safely remove the transceiver unit. There's nothing obviously remarkable about it. It's about the size of a common pasta box, with knobs of molded plastic. What else is there to say? If this transceiver were a person, it would be an accountant at a large logistics firm. Perfectly competent, but unexceptional.
I don't think the people who typically buy these machines are very concerned with questions of style.
The transceiver appears slightly hurt by your comment.
You've surprised me more than once during the course of our investigation, but I have to say it still seems like a remote scenario. It doesn't, frankly. Don't get me wrong. This appears to be a fine transceiver for a general audience, but it's not something a serious radiohead would use. Show me what, detective?
With its transceiver gone, the radio has ceased its persistent buzzing. It is as silent as a headstone. The payphone hangs mutely on the wall. There isn't much more to do here. This is the night watchman's booth.
I don't know about stealing people's very colorful clothes like that. Fantastic. Try not to wear it with other similarly colorful clothes, okay?
This is the night.
Mister. I need... Sure, mister. Absolutely. I'm always... Mr. Evrat doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about? Mr. Edgar is Mr. Everett's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does, but a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say. All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everett's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Africa. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
South Safari. A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there. A lot of cargo shipments being made too. The trade must have been lucrative for the trip to be so long.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everett sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better. Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that.
That's precisely what he is. Everard's dragon.
Who do you mean, mister? I don't know anyone like this, mister. Maybe he's one of Mr. Everett's fancy friends. He knows all kinds of fancy people with suits and purdy carriages. Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice friendly sort old Titus is.
He's probably one of those rare specimens who are born when two drunk seamen stumble on top of each other on the deck amidst a storm so violent it flings whales around.
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everett would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister. The night guard. Ooh, he's a peculiar fellow. He's the strong, silent type, you could say. We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human studies teacher, Mr. Martin, down at the plaza. I think he's the only fellow who actually knows old Renee. They lived on the same street their entire lives. Even dated the same girl on and off for as long as I can remember. Strange fellows. Mr. Martin was always real nice to me in school. I remember once. Mr. Martin, yes. Don't really remember much about him. I was just a boy back then.
Mr. Martin. Gaston also taught history and human studies to the Clear brothers.
Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you? Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes. Oh, yeah, it's very...
Power-pushed, huh?
Oh, absolutely, mister. What do you want? Oh, I'm sure, mister. About what?
Mr. Dubois, every worker, member of the board. How can I help you today? I'm always happy to educate and entertain you, my friend. Very nice, Harry. Is there anything else?
of Commerce! Don't talk to him any longer. Just leave, please. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right to work dance back on. It's hard to do that when you want to beat a man into a pulp instead.
Hello, compatriot. You have something to discuss? Oh yeah, they're a big deal. Someone with a car. Not at all. Goddamn. Trusting.
The door is this door. Still, the lieutenant. You should punch a fucking hole in it. You slam your feet into the vinyl. It does not not to mention.
Stop that.
The window stands broke. The morning light. The morning light. The bed is still. A mirror hangs.
Yes? What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? There's no 3 days ago. During. They didn't. There's a. Just to be clear. We are good.
Hi again, gendarme. Admiring the atmosphere. What about you, officer? Well, here's to you. Oh yes, let's see. He knocked. Oh, let me think. He sounded vaguely Oranese. Sure. Anything else? You did. And how did you like him? I told you, he can be very. What a bye-bye, gendarme.
I've got nothing to say to you. I am not.
You could be Liz.
Even.
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International.
So fuck.
No.
It's not her. She's not a hardy girl. Definitely.
What you want is of no significance. Of.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window.
It's you again. What is it? It's you again. What is it?
As you look around this room full of sweaty men, swearing, drinking, spitting out tobacco, does this look familiar? You believe the place was called Precinct 41. It was also filled with, almost exclusively, men, sitting on desks, talking shit and wasting time.
Huh? You got a problem with beer now?
Not quite there yet. Push on.
Speak for yourself, buddy. We've been giving a shit for 10 years. Martinez was a dump before we put this outfit together.
They don't know, man. They weren't here. We had 3 shootings a week, kids dead, fucking graffito everywhere. You cops haven't shown up since the 30s.
Congratulations on the graffiti removal. All I see is you sitting around talking about Monica's titties while there's a rape victim.
So what? What do you want from me? We took care of that fuck.
Don't let him drink that. One more push, quick.
Titus?
She stops mid-sentence. That's it. You got him. He's going to give it up, but on his terms.
You wanna help her, cop? Fine. I'm gonna let you help her, but you treat her with respect. If you don't, if you question her, harass her, a freight train of pain, buddy.
What is her name?
Glacia. I'm on due. She's staying here at the Whirling in Rags, a real pretty one. Silvery jumpsuit, blonde. That's Amonju with an O-U.
Shit. The girl upstairs? That can't be her. Remember what you said to her? You told her you want to have.
Yeah, blonde, tall, 2 rooms over from yours. Sure, why not? You've probably seen her around.
You inexplicably add cool after the victim's name, with your eyes bulging like some wild beast. Your fingers are fidgeting and sweat starts forming on your brow as Titus looks at you oddly.
I don't understand what's so cool here.
Nothing. We just have a few more questions. Then we'll be on our way.
It sounds like you're having a heart attack. Whatever you said, it couldn't have been that bad. Please relax. Calm. Normal. Try to forget this little hiccup.
Relationship? There was no fucking relationship. He raped her. That's their relationship.
Was like that karaoke incident all over again. Or like some of the other girls he was harassing.
Okay, enough. All of this is irrelevant to your stated investigation.
did it before we killed him. He's not gonna do it again. So what does it matter?
It would help if we establish a timeline.
All right. 2 weeks, maybe? I don't know. I need another beer.
Here you go, boss.
I know her.
How well do you know her?
A small twitch in the corner of Kim's mouth. He has a hunch about what knowing means.
Well enough, Copper. We party. She's been here for a few months.
He tries to make it sound real casual, but the muscles on his neck tighten.
You mean Revachol? Nah. Our Miss Aranye disco dancer is an immigrant or a drifter of some sort, been staying over here over the winter.
Don't you give her any more trouble. She's just had some bad luck, that's all.
Shut up, Angie. She doesn't need your help.
Titus gives them both a look. They fall silent. What's with all the silences? It's like these guys don't know how to feel about this. You should keep picking at it. And what was up with the partying she and Titus did? It sounded fun.
What do you think I meant? Yeah, tons of it. All the songs. No, we just fucked. That's all. I'm not gonna give you any details if that's what you're after. So put your dick away.
He really went out of his way to seem comfortable with this topic. That's all you're gonna get for now. He's doing a good job here. A commendable performance of I don't give a shit.
What do you think I meant? Yes, yes, and no. Got something to say about it? God damn it. Get it over with already. You don't know her. Not the way I do. Remember what I said. Freight train of pain. Again? Seriously, man. Fine. Yeah, whatever.
Officer, what was that? You looked strange when he mentioned the assault victim's name. Do you know that woman? Is there something I should know before we talk to her?
Whatever you do, don't say the first thing.
Okay, that's manageable. Understood. You were not in good shape on Monday. Understood. It doesn't matter how it went, officer. What else? Understood. It is. This would have been good to know before. It should have. Anything else? So she overheard you, or did you party together? Anything else? That's clearly your interrogation technique. Anything else? What you're saying is, you raped her?
Ice is forming on the inside of your chest cavity. Cold sweat trickles down your neck.
Then, don't ever say that again. What else? We'll be all right, Lieutenant. This is nothing.
Is it though? Nothing? You're still in for a bumpy ride here. Try not to mess it up.
Hey, was there something you needed? Another thing. Great. I love those. What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. He wasn't Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must. What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business. And want me to make an exception for you? Fine, okay. Yes?
The door is closed. There's still a dent in the vinyl where you punched it before. This little depression is all you could inflict on the door.
Who is it?
Tired, controlled.
This is the police. Can we come in?
Come on up. The door is open. I'm drying my hair.
Sounds like it's coming from upstairs somewhere. You could snoop around before going up. This medicine cabinet is full of wares. Sheets of pills, haphazardly stacked, one on top of the other. There's also a toothbrush somewhere in there. It's been used quite a lot. It's been used quite a lot. Pharmaceuticals line the shelves, sheet upon sheet of pill bottle next to pill bottle. Acetylic acid, APAP, eye drops, blood thinners.
Anything of note?
Pill bottles rattle like bones as you search the cabinet. Paracetamol, histoparidol, something in a foreign language you can't read. Behind them, an unusually shaped nasal spray. Its label reads, Necra. Nacra. This is used to treat opioid overdoses. Always handy to have around.
Interesting. That's used for diamorphine overdoses.
You could say he's on the lookout. Among some foreign, probably Messinian or Gotvaldian, marked red blister packs you find. What do you find? This is going to take a little know-how. Nothing of note. The further you look, the more arcane it gets. You don't know what the rest of this stuff does. This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo. Smooth as ice. There are spots of mud and rain on the outside, even smudges. But the surface of the window is clear from the inside. No chips, no hairline fractures. Following your lead, the lieutenant leans in closer to inspect the surface.
Looks like it, yes.
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. It's barred from the inside. You hear the bar rattle in the brackets. Sounds like it's heavy, too. Very sturdy.
I don't know, Lieutenant Yefreiter. It is not the first closed door we found in this building. There is also your mysterious blue kitchen door. I don't know. The further we get, the more this building seems to be tied to the case.
Below, the hostel cafeteria creaks and groans under your added weight. A skeleton of composite support beams and cantilevers. A dull thump. Somewhere inside, a wind brace rattles from the imperceptible motion of the building.
The vigilantes, the cadaver, and a number of people connected to the case are in or around this building. This door is part of it. It's not unimportant.
Just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in the air. You catch a single white flower between your fingers. The rest fly off into the wind. It's a Maybell. The young woman looks at the Maybell in your hand. Just a glance, then takes a drag of her cigarette. The lieutenant gives you an acknowledging little nod. Six crumbling petals rest on your palm. They're white, a bell-shaped crown.
This is the Insulindian lily, called Maybells or Lucille's tears during the Revolution. Girls used to pin these on soldiers before sending them off to battle.
This flower is a spring flower, but it's a bit early for that, isn't it?
The revolutionaries, so the communers and the anarchists. White's their color, but the custom started in the suzerain's army, so it held meaning for the kingsmen too. It's about girls and boys more than sight. Girls sending off boys who are going to their deaths, then also dying themselves in the ruins from dysentery and consumption. It's a symbol of the Civil War. Yes, but not this early, not to my knowledge. It looks dried, preserved. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
The petals feel dry and fragile in your hand. Water flows under the channel bridge. Dark water. You rub your sides for warmth, but there is none. Inland, above the Martinez distributary, the channel that brought wastewater from the silk mills of Jamrock, and then dead bodies during the war. The wrinkled fingers of an old man crush flower petals, then sprinkle them in the stream like white salt. Wait, have you noticed there's a war veteran playing a ball game on the plaza? You should ask him about the flowers.
Welcome to the roof.
Her hair is still slick from the shower. Below her silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built long and lean. Then toned over several years of self-defense training. You can sense it in the sharp pointing of her elbows.
I'm sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will. It's much nicer now.
Where the dead body used to hang, clearly visible from the roof, but no longer.
Thank you for that, officers. Truly. Oh yes, legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell has opened in there. They also say it's why the cleaning lady quit.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57. I believe you have already met my colleague from Precinct 41.
Have I ever? This is the biggest fan of ostentatious orchestrations I have seen in my life. And I have seen a few. Oh yeah. Life gets hard, but we go on.
The chorus of the 35 single, megaphoning the entire human race, instills you with the fuck it all swagger that prompts one to plow into grannies on your morning stroll.
I can see that. I'm glad all this onward going has brought you to me.
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man down there. The people who put him there have asked us to talk to you.
Huh. I see.
What could she be thinking of? It's hard to say. Her shoulders are relaxed, her eyes on the cigarette. It's like she's disappointed this wasn't about more entertaining matters.
Plaisier Amandu.
Same name that Titus gave you. It sounds Oranese, as does her accent. Her birthmarks also signal Oranje. You don't know why, but Oranese girls tend to come speckled with them.
Right, sir. Vredefort, Republic of Oranje. I guess you could say I am an Oranese expatriate.
Wasn't the tattoo on the hanged man an Oranese map of the waterways? The thought begins to form in your head, then dissipates. Something for later.
A bad memory, officer.
The Republic of Oranje is a democratic nation on the Muindi Isola, north of here, over the sea and across the Pale. It is one of the 6 major Occidental nations to hold stake in the continued occupation of Revachol, the coalition. People consider it a reasonable superpower. They will make you into a fiscal colony, divert your natural resources, hold patents and shares, but they won't threaten to wipe you out anytime, like Revachol did in its prime.
Of lilacs and lightning, parks, glass, duraluminium. Vredefort is a conference city. It's always autumn there. A night. At least it was for me.
What's so bad about that?
Nothing, if you're no longer there. I'm 28. Something stupid. Oranese lit. Oranese literature. It's what I studied at the university. Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Oranese. All national literatures are. Only the name of the nation changes.
What about Revacholian literature? People sometimes reveal things about themselves when they discuss such matters.
No. Revacholian lit is about how magnificent and serious Revachol is. It's about how you have to save the world. That's just a phase the Revacholian hero goes through. Before they plunge into full core humanity and world saving.
She seems quite relaxed for a victim of assault. But, of course, what seems should not be your priority.
Nothing. I do nothing with it. Cool. I've made more money by just being than I have with Oranese lit. Many things. A roller skating instructor, a secretary, Miss Oranje 37.
Miss Oranje, now there is something you should linger on. All things considered, very. Now linger.
It's a beauty pageant, held in the year of our century 37, in Oranje.
She was 14 at the time.
It's a competition for stupid girls. Men look at them and choose the most beautiful. When you have the fewest deviations from the norm, I've been told it's a type of mediocrity that I possess. Yes, and for that I got a crown and a sash, and a scepter, and a scholarship to study Oranese lit. Indeed.
Her voice is indifferent to the number.
Full disclosure, I was Miss Teen Oranje 37. The pageant was discontinued recently.
Another innocent tradition bulldozed by the march of ethical progress.
I'm afraid you can't, officer.
Why is that?
Because it's buried in a sealed plastic bag at an undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline tickets.
Thank you for your candor. Why?
They say so in your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. Look, officers, I like this place, but I don't want to be stuck wandering the city like a ghost after being robbed of my travel documents. I don't want to become an indentured servant in a brothel on Boogie Street, and I don't want my relatives to pay the ransom.
There are plenty of other reasons for hiding your documents from the law.
It's also why I hid it.
Why else?
I'm an unpopular girl. There are people back home who don't like me. If they show up, I'm in a hurry. The kind of hurry where you can't afford to not find your documents. But don't worry, this has nothing to do with your investigation. I would love to change the subject. It's not important. Unless I'm some kind of suspect.
Didn't she say you would have to interrogate her before, and that she didn't do it? What was up with that?
Well. It seems I either underestimated you or overestimated your hangover, officer. If I didn't know better, I'd say you feigned that fuck having lied to get me to say something stupid. Was that so?
The lieutenant gives you a little look. It's good we discussed your history with her, he thinks. I can play along.
Cool. You told us about the investigation Friday night, downstairs, at a table full of local kids and dock workers. You told pretty much everyone. After you showed them your gun, that is. Anyway, I thought it would be funny to say I didn't do it, because I knew about your investigation. Does that make me a suspect? I really must stop saying stupid things. Phew. If I were to lie to you, I would come up with a more mainstream name than Clausia Mondu. It's a weird name.
She seems to be telling the truth, sire.
Okie dokie.
If any of this made her nervous, it certainly doesn't show in her expression or her movements.
The record. So official. Yeah, it's pretty deluxe. I'm wintering.
How long have you been staying here?
About 4 months. I came in November. Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol? Because it's the funkiest building in Martinez, and because all the other buildings are bombed to hell. Thank you. I've put a lot of time and effort into it.
Technically, possession of narcotics is legal in Revachol, but you should still reprimand her.
What did you say? Oh my god. Now it's turning into narcomania. It's got to be serious if it's 2 words. I'm sorry. Comes in handy when you've done too many opioids.
Is that something that happens to you often, miss?
Better safe than sorry. Very funky.
What was that? Funky Town?
Believe me, you don't want to get into that shit. No. You've got it bad as it is.
Funk is an aggressive resurgence of the new aesthetic of the Revacholian 30s, but this time originating in Grad. It's brought there by the Ilmaran diaspora. Funk is more masculine and guitar-orientated than disco, even more dangerous.
I have no idea, officer. It is.
An evasive maneuver. Ask a follow-up.
Yeah. I'm trying not to lie to you here. Stop making it hard. Thanks.
You hear the scribbling of the lieutenant's pen. Feels like success.
Okay.
Watching herself reflected in the bedroom window, tall and sparkling and draped in smoke.
Yeah? All right. It's a bit early in the morning for rape, isn't it? Yeah. I'm gonna go with not raped. I can't say that stuff about him. Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more, rapeable.
It's all very organic. Her mannerisms, her movements. If she's acting, she's quite gifted. By they, she means the Hardy Boys.
Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted?
Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery. Sexual assault, maybe. It was clear the latter would be spicier. Pretty much.
Warming them.
I'm 89% sure. You know how it is.
Do you?
Maybe you don't.
There are numerous cigarette burns on those silvery scales. Easy to see now that you're closer.
In conclusion, officer, I'm gonna go with a mild to medium not raped here.
I'm sorry, miss, but we need a definite statement.
Let me make this 100% clear then, officers. I was not sexually assaulted. Would I be this flippant if I had been? We partied. A lot of partying going on.
From Titus? About her and Titus's relationship? That's where you heard it.
Yes. We made balloon animals, drank lemonade, inflated a bouncy castle.
Yeah, I love that too. We frosted the glasses, I unwrapped my bike, there was a petting zoo with little white rabbits.
I would like it to have been that way, but it wasn't.
How was it?
We drank, sir. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him.
What else?
Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder. And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. I guess you can say that, yes, a bit. Lovers is such an emotional word. But there was something there. We did enough drugs for there to be.
How did you two meet?
Downstairs, at the bar. He was on some sort of assignment, a military man, as you probably know. Had a cool, scary scar.
When was this?
A month ago? Something like that. Oh yes. I've had a great view. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams.
A bitter cringe. It hurts. You look to the lieutenant. He takes a small step closer.
You called us, the RCM.
Yes.
Jackpot.
I made it. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinez, they call it snitching.
Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss.
Because I couldn't handle it anymore. None of these people called. He just kept hanging there. Then they started stripping him. I didn't exactly disguise it. I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. With nail clippers. And I diverted some radio fuzz into it. Into the cold wire.
So, She's God's mystery phone cutter.
Did I? Fuck. I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing.
Still, that's pretty clever tampering. Simple and clever. Crossing the lines like that.
Thanks.
She looks a bit like a little girl who's just been complimented on her bike repair skills.
I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires.
We're not entirely convinced about that answer, but okay. Let it slide. Pushing won't help here.
Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do.
I didn't want to, sir. But if I hadn't, he'd still be hanging there. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Later, maybe.
I know it's difficult, miss. We can return to it later.
He had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing. But you probably know all about it.
And his role in this strike was what?
I think he was in a security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines, and against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean. But I understood it was dangerous.
And they lynched him for it?
She nods.
They're frequent guests. Downstairs, they have a booth for Union members. They're probably down there now. Over drinks. It's been a long, boring winter. A little, yeah.
Like you partied with the deceased?
No, not as hard.
I'm sorry to have to ask this, but have you had a physical relationship with any of the Hardy Boys?
I have. Which ones, sir? I don't remember precisely. Titus, obviously. But as I said, it's been a long winter.
She breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness. The air on the roof feels humid.
Should we head by downstairs, officer? We may have things to discuss there.
She nods. Silvery cigarette fumes disappear into her mouth.
Not my favorite topic, but okay. How about we, change the subject to something more lighthearted now?
She looks at the dried petals in your palm, then lightly touches one with her fingernail. Chipped white polish covers the nail. It's long and sharp, like a mini dagger. The petal crumbles on contact.
Pretty. Looks like a dried maybell. Is that the one you caught? Sambo style? A martial art, sir. Is that it?
Samurai boxing, or Sambo, graceful martial arts stuff. Sambo style implies stealth and cool.
Why was there a flower on the roof? I don't know, officer. Because of the wind? Why not?
You made the right call there. It feels good. Pure. I'm talking about your zero-tolerance policy toward the mania of narco. You're in the right there. Powerful stance. Would you like to take it up a notch? Would you like to become an anti-narcomania zealot? That's not a problem. At all. The more drugs you do, the more zealous you can be in combating them. Drugs give you the vigor to fight drugs. And not only that. Yeah, sure. No, by supporting the traditional tobacco industry, you keep the narco mills in check. If anything, you should smoke more. Tobacco smoke also wards off narco spirits.
That's good to hear.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain? Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
She looks back. Time moves slowly. The triangles of her face rearranging into a weary smile. Don't worry. We will protect you from her beauty. We will consult you through the reefs and sounds of her persona. We will see through deceits. You are shielded. You are wise. You are advised. There are muscles on long white bones that line her limbs, just below the silver jumpsuit. Nothing, just time passing. Don't worry. Anything out of the ordinary and you would be notified. Air moves in your windpipe. Your heart beats. You're a detective. Get back to detecting. She presses her elbows against her waist and slowly turns her head. Her hair brushes her shoulders, making a small hissing sound, almost imperceptible. The strange moment ends. It was brief, no longer than 2.2 seconds.
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window. Nothing will make them respect the RCM, but it will disrupt the game they prepared for us. We just stripped off one layer of whatever it is. Her decision to not corroborate their story was definitely not part of the plan. What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie and get away with it. If not you, then me. It was a smart move from her. You think so? Being candid is the best way to lie. The appearance of candor with some facts thrown in draws attention away from whatever one chooses to omit. She may be trying to control the pace of the investigation. Anyway, we should move. I suspect our inquiries will bring us back here soon enough.
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. Something cracks inside. It is an unbelievably satisfying sound.
Nice.
Filling you with a belief in your own body.
Sounds like the property damage wasn't in vain, at least. Would it hurt to look in?
You can almost see the shape of a man and a woman writhing inside, bathed in drug sweat and dirty linens. Bottles lie around everywhere.
You can barely see through. Better not to jump to sensationalist conclusions here. The footprints on the floor, however, definitely suspicious.
Boring footprints. I want to jump to sensationalist conclusions. You lean closer to the peephole instinctively. I bet they're doing something quite unnatural there. Sensationally unnatural. You clearly see footprints in the downy carpet of dust covering the workshop floor.
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here, are new. 3 weeks maximum from the dust coverage. It could easily have been 1 week too. You know, officer, this isn't bad at all. It was a good idea to see where that door leads. Commendable work bringing us to this place. It means someone snuck through what seems like a secret route, behind our rape victim's room. In the recent weeks, this may prove to be significant.
Large prints, most likely made by boots. The size is hard to determine. Sole could be bigger than vamp. The soles have left a pattern, uniform, horizontal lines. This print is unlike one left by a regular worker boot. It is not a brand sole with logos on it. It seems custom-made or old-fashioned.
The size looks about the same, actually. They are not the same shoe, but they could be the same person. No, these little horizontal lines are different. They look custom made to me, or some kind of foreign print. Hard to say. Still a boot, though.
Everything around you is quiet. The prints crisscross the workshop floor. Over there, in the corner. Not just any pinball machine. This is the pinnacle of pinball. Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats. It's lit. You can't wait to get your hands on it.
The pinball machine. Gordy's Goats, a classic.
Oh, it's more than just a classic. A must-play. All serious pinballers have attempted a tempo run.
A little.
Feels like a lot. Too much to play it again.
Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats reads the golden lettering on top of the back box. There's a small column of text underneath. The machine is coin-operated. Get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready. Above the painting of a mustached man climbing a hill, a column reads, inspired by the legend of Cornelius Gordy, taken on the world's tallest peak, Corpus Windy. The Mesk legend holds that when the nation is in danger, heroic Gordy shall return and save his people. The theme of the game is to explore Gordy's climb through the perspective of goats and to ascend to the top of the mountain in a time of trouble. The peak of the mountain is at the top of the playfield. All the balls have small goat icons on them and represent the goats as they race up and down the mountain. Areas around the playfield represents Gordy's climb, places he was said to have camped, which the goats can discover. Get them to the summit. Indeed, think of them as balls. It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon you're able to keep 3 goat-faced balls in play with relative ease. Go, go, Fingerboy.
I feel sorry for the goats. If they only knew the kind of guy old Cornelius really was. The kind of a guy who uses the word savages a lot when recounting his travels. A masked nationalist. An avid huntsman too. He was often photographed in his dining hall, surrounded by wall-mounted hunting trophies from every continent. He also hit his wife and kids, other people's kids too, sometimes pets. Hateful little man. But you seem to be having fun.
Your game is definitely improving. The jolly goats are flying all over the board, and although a few plummet to their deaths, you're never left with less than 3. Suddenly, a special passage leading to the summit slides open at the top of the board. This is where the balls need to go. Maneuvering a goat ball into a position for a perfect hit isn't easy. More fall to their deaths. But finally, the opportunity presents itself. One of them gets through. Tiny hammer shatters something inside the machine. Something glass. The words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker panel, and the machine starts filling with a thick, milky fog. Something's happening.
Congratulations. This is where the game ends. It's a cheap way of getting more money out of the players. A stupid nihilistic finale.
There's so much fog, you can barely see anything. Some is actually leaking out of the machine, and one by one, your goats start slipping, disappearing into the milky nothingness. This can be navigated. The balls leave almost imperceptible disruptions in the fog. Use them to calculate where they hit next. You're down to your last goat, going mostly by sound. Eyes are useless at this point, but that goat is something special. 5 times you snatch him back from the jaws of death. You're in a perfectly balanced system where neither you nor the pal is able to get the upper hand. This could go on forever.
I am. I've seen it before. Played it too. You will eventually make a mistake and then it's all over.
With automation-like precision, you keep the final goat ball in play, reacting to the tiniest stimuli, floating in the flow state. The fog is clearing, and suddenly the old speaker crackles. Gordy Ball is lit.
Huh?
A panel opens up at the top of the playfield, and a new ball charges downhill. It's larger than the goats and matte black. Cornelius spell the white letters running across the equator. So violent is its descent, it immediately knocks the last goat into the abyss, then proceeds to bounce all across the board as if carried by some demonic otherworldly inertia. High score, announce the speakers, and the whole machine lights up. Then the flippers retract, leaving a perfect opening for the Gordy Ball to join the goats backstage. Cornelius vanishes, and the machine powers off.
That's amazing. You didn't just win. No one I know has ever beaten Gordy's goats. That is a monumental achievement, Detective. Congratulations, Your Highness. That was really impressive. The machine needs a good service before anyone else can even attempt it again. Yes, good times.
Once again, the machine becomes one with the dust and the darkness. You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
There must be a key somewhere. Probably somewhere in the whirling. It's not too important. We can get in and out using the roof door.
The door doesn't challenge. The steel doesn't even tremble. Now you're hanging from the handle. The door remains immobile. Okay, it was a challenge, and you failed. What now, loser? The Cobalt Old Cope, it leads to a side building. The machine. This small elevator is dimly lit by a bulb that's been glowing for ages. The latticed cage is open, inviting you to step inside. Smells of nougat and sweat. Your head brushes up against the ceiling. There is a control panel to your right, and just enough room for 2 people to fit in. The maintenance card under the control panel reads, Last maintenance, 10th July, 88. This elevator must have been used to transport pinball machines to and from the upstairs workshop. There are large rectangular buttons, monter, descente, and an international call for emergency assistance. That third one appears to be broken. A small steel plaque reads Halter 800. Halter is a Koningsteiner lift company who went out of business a long time ago.
That it does. I say, let's brave it. No, it was maintained in 88 of the previous century. No, I think the bureaucrats just forgot about this backroom elevator after the revolution. Seems so, although it's pretty quaint for a freight elevator.
So this is where they brought 40 pinball machines to fix them up, a long time ago. Everything is covered with dust now. The lieutenant looks around the dusty, crowded room, inspecting the tools on the shelf.
At some point, 20 years ago, 15 maybe, before pinball went out of vogue. Looks like it. I'm guessing Martinez North 22 used to be a pinball arcade before it became a hostel. There are machines left over.
A creak. Some dust falls off a shelf.
Downstairs in the hall, next to the main door. One of them even works. I've seen one of the artists bang away at it.
Remember the dice maker? Then that means...
Ah, yes, as the novelty dice makers said. This has absolutely nothing to do with the case, I'm sure. But I do like a nice little connection.
But then it went bankrupt. Your skin crawls from making the connection.
If that's true, then our cafeteria manager is not going to like it. We should tell him what we found up here, omitting that suspicion. He does not appear to be the kind of man who likes his establishment to be part of a neighborhood ghost story about bankruptcy.
Stupid superstition. But still, it would be interesting to see what the cafeteria manager thinks of this. You clearly...
Jackpot.